Jeff.
Hey, man, you need to start it again. I was jamming, man. I was getting in the groove.
Jeff, I bet nobody noticed I looped it twice. So I played that twice. Like it was 30 seconds twice.
I was getting in the groove, man.
It was like a little remix.
Jam.
Well, guys, happy Thursday. Welcome to the channel. You got Jeff here finally after he's been MIA for what, 2 weeks, man?
Yeah,
You've
man.
been on the road earning hard-earned cash.
Gotta have airplane funds, man.
Gotta have airplane funds by all means necessary. So I'm feeling under the weather. It's pollen season, guys, and apparently the older I've gotten, I am not resilient to it anymore. So it has jacked me up to put it in the best way.
Zyrtec, Bobby, works.
That's what I've been taking. I ran out of.
I've been taking
Flonase. I took that, and I got my daughter over here making me some tea, so I'll be good to go here in a minute. But guys, we have a good show for you tonight. We got some special guests coming up here. We've got some wonderful topics to talk about. And most importantly, we have Jeff here. So that's good too. That's always good to have him back in the mix after being MIA. And he's wearing a red hat too. So that's cool. So
when nature calls, brother, when nature calls.
When nature calls. But yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man. Yeah, I appreciate that, Jeffrey Lewis. I have been feeling like trash. But guys, we got a special guest. And I like to call this special guest, Mr. B1B, Mr. Banana Hobby, Mr. Twin 70 millimeters, Mr. I got
names does this guy need
on it. I mean, we give him the names he needs. But guys, without further ado, I'd like to bring you to the light, Mr. Stolt Productions himself right here. Welcome to the channel. Glad to have you in here. How's it going there?
Good, everybody. Thank you for having us. From Northern Utah. It's nice to be able to get on the show and have fun.
Yeah.
And, we normally just kick back, enjoy everybody and their comments and just watch and enjoy. So it's been fun.
Yeah,
so thank
man.
you for having us.
I've been wanting to have you on the channel for a couple of weeks, and I know you've been out, doing a bunch of air shows for the brand, and you got Kyler right there, your sidekick. I don't know if you guys know him or not, but he is pretty good. He's pretty good on the sticks. He's pretty nasty on the sticks, actually. Watch his videos. He's flying right there beside his dad. So that's pretty awesome. The fact that, you even trust him enough to fly those. So that's awesome. So I know he's highly skilled. Thank you, Zoe.
How old are you, Kyler?
Appreciate that.
I'm 12.
Love you.
Okay. Yeah, my little boy started flying when he was 7, and now he's 10. So one day he'll be to your level, man. He'll be there.
Yeah, that's a good time to start with these kids. These kids, the way that we saw it with him is we decided to try and get him into RC to keep him out in the environment, keep him outside, try to keep him away from video games.
Yep.
Gotta
stay away from the games.
How bad video games are, but there's fun games, but there's also a lot of bad games on there. So we try to keep him involved in the outside world where he gets the vitamin D.
That's right. You gotta get that.
He gets the bug bites. He gets to get the experience from the RC world and the RC community. A lot of the older gentlemen, the best part is when we're out there is the stories. We get a lot of stories from a lot of older gentlemen, and not only just stories about RC, but a lot of these guys are combat veterans that have been flying, and they've flown the actual full-size airplanes that we're out there showcasing, which is super cool to be able to bring back a lot of memories for these gentlemen, So that to me is the highlight of the hobby is doing that,
Absolutely. And that's what it's about. That's the future right there. So in order for us to keep this hobby going, we gotta do exactly what you're doing. So you're leading by example. That is always a good thing. And I know you're talking about vitamin D and getting them out in front of the sun. We got another guy that we're going to bring on to the light too that needs some vitamin D as well. He's clearly he needs a lot of vitamin D. We brought TJ back in. Guys, this is the first time we've actually had 4 people on the channel like this. So I told you guys we were going to do something big. We need to bring TJ back because last week we were supposed to talk about the 8S platform, and I realized we didn't. So like I said, it takes 2 people to fill Jeff's shoes, guys. It is what it is. So but we got Jeff back, so that's even better. So we've got 4 people in the mix that we're going to talk about
5, we got
everything.
5.
Oh, that's right. 5. That's right. Yep, we got caller right here. Sorry.
High five.
Sorry, man. We'll acknowledge you, man.
Look, I'm sorry, man. I wasn't great at math. I was flying airplanes instead of studying math. I'm sorry. So, but needless to say, we got TJ back in the mix. Good to have you, TJ. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing great.
Good. You look healthy over there. You look like you've had plenty of vitamin D.
Cold. Like
He does look cold.
Outside.
He's from Florida, so you know how this goes.
Although it is warm outside,
yes.
in I don't know if I want to call this a basement on my first floor, man, no AC all day. It's 66 degrees down here.
That is comfortable. Wow. That is great.
Yeah, that is cold for me.
Yeah, that's cold. That's why you see the Scully.
Yeah. Jeez, I stay cold all the time. But while we got Mr. Stolt Productions here, we wanted to talk to you. We always bring people into the channel, and we bombard you with a bunch of questions. And we're going to bombard you with a bunch of questions in reference to the B1B. I think you're probably the most highly skilled person with that. You've probably seen it and flown it more so than anybody else. And since the concept was brought to light and everything, so it's nice to have you here. But before we get into that, what got you into the hobby? How long have you been flying?
I've been flying now for about 10 years. So my RC start happened while I was in the military at Hill Air Force Base here in Utah. I was a non-destructive inspector, NDI.
Okay.
And so we use science to find cracks in jets that are not visible to the naked eye. So
wow.
You have to find that stuff. But anyway, what happened was my shop supervisor, his name is Christopher Moss. Fantastic gentleman. He comes up to me and he knows that I'm just super excited about our, airplanes in general. I know just a bunch of knowledge. And what happened was he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey man," he says, "I fly RC airplanes." And he goes, "Would you like to come out and fly with me?" And I'm like, no, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to, I know what they cost and I know how long I would last in regards to this. And my first plane would be a disaster.
Crashing.
and I had originally turned him down and he stayed up with it. And he asked me, shortly after, and I turned him down. And then eventually he goes, "Look, come out here and fly with me." He says, "I'm going to start you with a Firebird Stratos."
Oh, wow. I remember those.
That was an airplane that your ailerons were controlled by proportion thrust.
Wow.
And it had an elevator, and that was it. Oh, yeah, it didn't even have nose steering if I remember right. Maybe rudder. But anyway, the thing was the funnest thing ever. He ended up taking me to the field. This was back up on base. We had a field there called Falcon RC. It was one of the only bases that had RC on there that we knew of. We knew of maybe 3. And it was the shortest runway. It was probably 120 feet by 40 feet. And we had a blast there. But anyway, I go out there and I get a hold of this airplane. He shows me how it is first. I get a hold of it. And first things first, I'm like, I got this.
Came natural to you.
And I'm up there dive bombing this thing and putting it into loops and everything it's not supposed to do. And about the 10th flight on there, I said, "Look, I got this. I need something different." And then I ended up falling into the typical, everybody wants the better, more aggressive, more cool plane. And I call it Mustang-itis.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And so I ended up getting the Park Zone Mustang. And I went through about 12 of
them. 12. Wow. I remember those. Was it the green one?
It was the Gunfighter.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
It was the Gunfighter. And I went through so many of them, but I had a dang blast. And then from then on, I had the hooks in me. And it went more and more and more. And now I have 76-ish airplanes.
And not only do you have 76 airplanes, but you have a lot of turbines. You have a lot of turbines.
Yeah, we've got 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
We got 11. See, they're breeding.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't even know. So we've got a lot. And several shows ago we talked about this. We talked about when is it enough?
Right. Never.
The biggest thing I caution to people is if you can't afford it, don't get into debt for it.
Bingo.
You know, if you can afford it, then enjoy it.
Yeah.
But don't risk family life or any of that stuff for the hobby. Just enjoy what you can. Okay. Nobody needs to have the latest and greatest. Just go out there and enjoy
That's
what
it.
you got. You know what you can get. That's the best part. But anyway, I have a ton of planes. I usually what I do is I get too many and then I start giving them away to people.
Oh wow!
Hey,
Well, when
can
you
I
feel,
be one?
well, yeah, hey, I was here first, guys. I was here
No,
first.
no.
Wait a minute.
I
If you
raised
guys-
my hand.
No, I was here first.
If you were a lot closer, there would be a lot more options.
I will
for
pay
you.
for
Let's say
shipping.
I will
Hey.
fly out there.
I will drive there because I drive for a living. I
He
don't want to hear
will.
what they got to say.
He
that.
absolutely will.
You drive for a living. You better come here anyway, just to hang out. How about that little
If
caveat?
you got a room for me to stay, I'll come visit you.
Bring it on. We got all kinds of options. So,
Where'd
my
you say you were
gosh.
at? You in Utah?
yeah, we're in Utah. So we're in northern Utah, Ogden area.
Okay.
I live in what's called actually Syracuse. It's the furthest west you can get from
I thought that was in New
Layton.
York.
There's one there,
Yeah.
but ours is better.
Probably much cleaner, much nicer.
How far
Yeah,
are
I've
you
never,
from?
I've never been there, so I can't comment on that.
Yeah. How far are you from Park City?
Park City's about an hour.
Okay.
It's in a whole different area. Park City's up in the Wasatch Mountains.
Yep.
We're down in the valley and a little bit north.
Yeah, we were just there in January skiing at Park City and at what's the other mountain called?
The canyons.
I don't know if it's called the canyons or not, but I know it was high up in the mountains and it wasn't snowing down in Park City. But when we went up to this other ski resort,
There's Brighton, Snowbird.
it was probably bright.
There's Deer Valley.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's
Yeah.
lots of them up there. There's a ton of skiing up here.
Yeah.
We have got a record right now of 700 inches of snow.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is.
So we'll see how much water we have this year. we're gonna
Hey,
have
you
too
guys
much
said
to
y'all
do.
needed water over there. You got it now.
we do have it. That's the best part is
Yeah.
we've got a lot of it. So that'll keep a lot of the people that are like, oh, we need the water kind of calm. But I
I'm
worry
on
about
Google
flooding.
Maps trying to find Jeremy's house because I know he's got to have a hangar back there because all the airplanes he's got.
A P-51D fan asked you a question. He says,
Yeah.
where or how do you store all those airplanes? Good question.
Yeah.
All right. So I have a buddy. The company is called DIE Positions, DIE Positions. And his name is Jonathan Fry. What he does is he has a laser cutter. And he has designed essentially a mount
Huh.
that I'm going to kind of draw it out so you can kind of see. This is what a side view of what it looks like is.
All right.
And so
Okay.
I've got these mounts everywhere in my garage.
Wow. What are they made out of?
They're made out of wood.
Okay.
And so it's like a 10 ply type plywood. And I mean, if I was on the mobile, I'd be able to show you.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, it's fine. It's fine. But no, that's I've seen pictures of your airplanes how you have them hanging. So that's actually pretty cool.
Keeps them out of the way. Usually, garage does. Most garage doors have about 3 feet above them, and so most airplanes work. But a little bit of caution: A4s do not.
Yeah, I could imagine.
We have destroyed an A4 Skyhawk with a garage door.
Was it just was it a turbine or was it like a?
No, that was a free wing one. It was one of the ones
okay.
I customized into a Blue Angel. So
Oh man,
little bit tougher to take, but we will have it fixed.
It hurts
soon enough.
They all
Hey,
hurt.
Can you guys fly at the Willard Bay Reservoir? That would be cool.
So it depends on which ranger's there.
That thing, it's huge.
So there's a few rangers that like to run people off, but for the most part, we fly. If you go up a little bit further north in Logan, they've got an area up there that they fly. Down south, there's a bunch of areas on Utah Lake that they fly float planes. A lot of the clubs around here, and so
Bobby, let me show you guys this. This is
Yeah, bring it up so we can get a visual aid there, kind sir.
If you look up, Bobby, you know, and TJ, you look up our neck of the woods, you know what it looks like, right?
Right.
There's legit farmland everywhere, right? Let's look at this. You know, there's that Willard Bay Reservoir, and then look, that's all their little farmland they got.
That's it?
No, that's salt flats. Actually, that's salt. That's a salt.
That's a salt mine.
That's a salt.
What's a salt flat?
Mining. Essentially, what they do is they flood that with the Great Salt Lake water.
Oh, and then they mine.
And then it evaporates off, and then what they do is they get the minerals from that. So if you do your little Google search right there over there instead of Ogden, Utah, type NURCAC, NURCAC.
Said I used to donate
right
plasma
there.
Twice a week to buy plants.
Right there, northern Utah. that is our RC airfield, which is very close to that.
Oh wow, look at that. That's nice.
And so that is our 700-foot by 65-foot runway.
Is this your control line field?
No, that is
the largest control line field I have ever seen in my life.
That's the turbine version area.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but that's our 700-foot by 65-foot runway. And if you go to the right, we're into there. That is our lake bed. So
wow,
we've got the opportunity to land and save your airplanes essentially if you have any kind of potential problems right there. Where a lot of people don't have that.
Doesn't come.
So speaking of trains, right there. You guys have all seen this video of an airplane hitting a power pole and power lines, right?
We saw that.
Epic, right? So that's not the pole. Keep going to the right.
That's the pole.
Keep going.
Is that it?
No, keep going. There she is. That is the pole of the notorious power line explosion.
Oh wow!
He was way off course.
Well,
if he's coming in for a landing, I mean that's a wide rollout.
Yeah.
Well,
It
was just a turn inside of the power lines when normally we fly above them, out, and we get a wide slope in. So it was kind of an abnormal approach.
It was just meant to happen.
That was pretty expensive.
Yeah, I could imagine. No, that was a turbine jet too, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a Pilot Predator airplane by
man. That hurts.
That's some of the straightest roads I believe I've ever seen, Bobby.
I know. Hey, we don't have roads like that over here.
And so if you look at how far, if you zoom out, the mountains in our back of our photos and all that are actually pretty dang far away.
Right here?
Nope,
but in your videos, they look pretty close.
Yep.
They're beautiful.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
we got
a wide open area out there just to be able to do that. So like I said, you guys come this way, come on out.
We'll zoom out to our field.
Yeah, let's show them our field. You see all that green? That is trees.
See, we don't have any mountains around here.
Yeah, we just got nice, flat, hilly property.
See, now we just went to Florida, and so we got to enjoy some of that tree. Appeal.
That's our field right there.
Our field looks like child's play compared to theirs.
It looks like that little lake park over there. But see, if the northern part of our field is where you want to do your approach, because it's super clear, you can almost go a mile out and set up your landing.
If only it was clear from like here to there, that'd be great.
That's true.
Because we come in at an angle.
We definitely did.
See what we're saying, Jeremy, is like everything, like we have fields around here, cuz.
Yeah. So seeing like the flat is amazing to me.
Yeah, so we've got all kinds of events. So we also have an area. If you were to go and search out there a little bit further, we got a place called Misty Way, where we're going to be doing an event called the Bonneville Jets. This is actually where we're going to go out to a salt flats out in Grantsville, Utah, and we're going to get tons of jets out there. It is wide open to do whatever you want. Fly as big of planes as you want, big of approach as you want, and all that kind of stuff. And so if you take a look on, Misty Way. Yep, there you go. So this is another area. This is on the other side of the Great Salt Lake. Yep. And so we all go out there, and if you zoom in, you'll actually see some cars out there. And so that whole area out there,
just flat,
is an RC airplane heaven.
Is that where I've seen Tom Tabor fly? He flies out of there a lot.
He went out there for one of our events. But Tom flies at our field.
Bro,
Wow.
it's huge.
Yep. And so that area is huge. This is where we go to test airplanes that are abnormally large that we want to ensure are going to be able to stop or fly within our areas.
That makes sense.
And so that's
Now-
all salty lake bed.
Now,
And so lots of opportunity to do whatever out there. So we got a big event that's going to be happening out there here
that's
soon.
a good place to get your jet waiver, your turbine waiver.
That's
I wonder
exactly
is-
where most people do it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Is the salt there like the sea salt? Will it corrode it like sea salt does?
It's extremely similar. As a matter of fact, our Great Salt Lake is more salty than the ocean,
I got you.
and so it's
So
highly
fat people
corrosive.
over there then.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm in your same boat there, Jeff. So yes, and I float. All right.
That's funny. That is funny.
Yeah, but our Great Salt Lake has actually been decreasing in size the last several years.
So
So
you guys
we'll see if we even have a lake out there at certain points anymore. It's getting pretty rough.
Wow. So let's get into it.
Cool.
We got you here. We're gonna so let's do this, Jeff. Let's all ask him one question. Let's talk about that X-Fly B1B.
Well, let's bring up one thing first.
Let's talk about it.
I want to apologize that we do not have the B1 here for the show,
It's okay.
but I want you all to understand the reason why.
Tell us.
So I flew down to Florida Jets this last weekend, and I checked our airplane, the B1, into the airplane. We were a little worried it may not make it, but we wanted to make sure we could show off that airplane. We got it down there. The airplane flew fantastic. We've got 107 flights on the airplane now.
Wow.
But we decided that we were not going to risk putting it back on checked baggage, and we shipped it FedEx, and it
Don't
will
blame
not
me.
be here till Wednesday.
I do not blame you, not one bit.
So I will be waiting for the B1 a second time.
Wow.
But it will be here eventually, and if we have to do another live show or whatnot with it or whatnot, we can do that. But
Yeah,
I
we
just
can.
want to make sure you know. But I have no problems talking about it.
All right.
I want you guys all to know. We want to be fully transparent as much as we possibly can on there, because here's the thing: we are testing prototype airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to find issues. We want to find issues. The reason we want to find issues is because we do not want a product to get out to people and everybody find problems that we couldn't find.
Right.
We can do your grass hops testing. That ain't no problem.
Well, we can see what we can do.
Yeah, send it.
I would love to come there and hang out with you guys, and maybe we can figure something out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, we don't really have grass fields. We got dirt, we got salt, and we've got runways, because we have like crabgrass and all this stuff, and it's just awful.
Right.
It just doesn't work. And then there's a lot of golf courses, but they would probably shun on us for flying off of there. But anyway, but again, we don't have the B1, but we'll do what we can to discuss it.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. But we've tried to put out a ton of media on there, so you can see it flying and everything. We've Joe at Florida Jets, we had probably 20-mile-an-hour crosswinds on there, and we were out there flying it for our noon demos in front of everybody. And so it flew fine, it flew great, and I'm really excited for you guys all to get it. But we have some things that we want to improve upon and make it better in the long run. So
I will say that I had the opportunity to speak to some of your competitors, and they saw the B1B, and they were very impressed. They may not tell you that, but they were extremely impressed how well it was flying.
We've had a lot of people talk to us on side notes.
Yep.
Not going to mention names of anything
right.
like that, because there's a lot of people that would probably not look so great.
That's right.
Saying such, but ultimately, at Banana Hobby, we want to make sure that we're bringing out some neat, different stuff. That's the key. The different. Everybody's tired of the same old F-16.
Absolutely.
Everybody's tired
Mustangs. We're tired of Mustangs.
I mean, they have had their play, but let's find some different stuff for the next 10 years.
Yeah. And the funny thing is like the people who are watching this, they always tell us, we ask openly, what kind of airplanes would you like to see? And you hear some off the wall stuff, and that just shows you that that's kind of the stuff we want. We're really tired of F-16s. We're really tired of Mustangs. We're tired of P-47s, P-51s. So it's really nice to see stuff like the T-7A or the MiG-17 or the
Alpha Jet.
The Alpha Jet, like that was from the left field, and I bought one
B-25.
the B-25. So the B-2, like it's a bunch of different airplanes that are finally coming to light, and I think that you guys are on to something. And I've talked to Carrie quite a bit, and I like that she's very in tune with what's going on. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, we just got asked about some new ideas, and we presented some other new ideas. And so the next few that are going to be coming from Banana Hobby, stay tuned because you guys are going to like. Okay, I can't tell you. I'm not going to spoil it.
Right.
But we want you guys to know there is some new stuff that has not been seen that will be coming.
Right. And look, that's the kind of stuff that I'm interested in. I'm like everybody else. Me and Jeff have probably flown. Jeff, we've done over 600 videos. We have flown hundreds of airplanes, like within a year, 2 years. So, we're ready for some different stuff. Me and TJ were just talking about that, as well. So we like that we're getting different things out here too. So the uniqueness of the B1B is that kind of came from left field because that was a plane everybody talked about, but nobody didn't really, take it serious that it was coming to light. And then out of the left field, boom, you get the B1B.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The best part about that was I used to work on that. And so the little kid inside from back me learning to work on the B1, I mean, I've been glowing the whole time knowing that the input that we provided to help with X-Fly to make this was pretty exciting, and it was actually supposed to have been a different airplane.
Right.
And we got the B1 because it's going to be better in the long run. We're going to see some cool stuff. So it absolutely impressed with the B1. Some of the things that I would like to highlight on it, the control board within this airplane is going to end up helping with a lot of the ease of this airplane. Unlike some of the other airplanes that are out there, you have to control your own flaps. So if you were to wing sweep an airplane with your flaps down, you may inadvertently create a offset wing setup to where you have one in and one out. And so the B1, it's actually got a controlled setup inside there to where you hit wing sweep, it will automatically pull your flaps up to prevent that. So that's pretty neat.
See, these are the small, minute things people aren't aware of that you're testing.
Yep.
Somebody has to test these things.
We are running it through the ringers. Like I said, we got 107 flights on there. We did have a couple of hiccups here and there with some things, but all of those things are being addressed with X-Fly to make it improved and whatnot. So, we have the estimated delivery date of July.
Right.
I want to give an explanation to why, because a lot of people don't understand. They're just like, oh man, July is so far away. Well, think about this. Okay, so we've got a prototype airplane. We're running it through the ringers. Now, what if we find something wrong with it? We want to give ourselves and X-Fly the ability to redesign, correct, but then once they correct, we also need to get this stuff back, run tests on it again.
Right.
Because just because we've got 100 flights on an airplane now, if we go and we change out the heart per se, if we change out a control board, we have to ensure that that control board is 100% to the T and operating as it should. So now we got to put probably another 100 flights on there. And so with that, you've got weather, you've got just sheer time, you got, all different kinds of factors in there. And so we wanted to give us enough time so we're not going to rush and just say it's good enough. We don't want just good enough. We want this to be the primetime airplane that everybody's going to enjoy, and they're going to get tons of flights on it without a single hiccup. That is our goal, you know. And so after we correct or any of these updates go into it, and we say, yay, it's great. Well, we want to get another airplane out there that is going to be just like what everybody gets. And we want to be able to run it as is and make sure there's no problems with that. So essentially, we're going to be running through 3 types of prototype testing just to make sure this is amazing. You know what I mean? And the other thing is we're doing it in front of everybody. I mean, how many companies go out there and show their prototypes being tested?
You don't see it. You never see it.
So we're airing it out there so that everybody knows, look, Banana Hobby is knocking it out of the park.
They're killing
it. We are
it.
running tests.
Yeah.
And we are trying to ensure that you guys are going to get good quality product for the money you're paying.
Now,
that's what we want.
You got a question here, Jeremy. Can the wings be put in mid sweep or just full swept?
No, they are either fully extended or fully retracted. And so the biggest way that I can give you an example, actually better yet, little Ben, run upstairs out in the garage. I've got a wing sweep in that box.
Nice.
Go grab all of those so we can show people. All right, so essentially the wing sweep is very, very similar idea to like what the F-14 from Freewing has.
Yeah.
It's like a retract. And the reason why it's like a retract is because retracts usually have a pretty dang good amount of torque. Most servos, even if you use the servo in that type of respect, they're going to be getting over torqued. And so most landing gear retractors are pretty torquey. You know, they're a worm-driven gear, and you can gear them down pretty well, and you can achieve what you need to do. So they've essentially got a wing sweep-driven landing gear controller that does your wing sweeps on there, and we'll have one to show you here. So I've got a few extra pieces just in case we do run into things, so we can keep testing. So
all right.
But I have not had to change any of them out. They've been working perfect. And so very awesome. The wing sweeps look great. I'm up there doing high G turns with wing sweeps. I'm up there doing aileron rolls with wing sweeps. You know, I'm trying to put any kind of pressure in, to be able to run these things through the ringer to make sure that if we're going to have a problem, we're going to find it. And
that's what we're that's the good thing about that. So Mountain RC says, shout out to Stolt clan from the UVA club in Saratoga Springs. Thanks for bringing the B1 to the meeting a few weeks back.
Guys. Very welcome, guys. You know, and again, we want to make sure that everybody sees it. We want firsthand account. We want to know what you think. You know, that's the biggest thing. We want to know what you think, because if you don't like something necessarily about this airplane, we may not be able to fix it on this airplane or make it what you want. But the future coming up, those are things that we can potentially add into that.
Right.
Does that make sense? So we're always looking for input.
That makes perfect sense.
The box?
And Jeff, TJ, you guys are up for questions. So
all right, shoot a question. What do we got? What do we got?
I'll let you go, Jeff, because you know what my question is going to be.
What's next?
He's going to say, "Can I fly it?"
No, he wants to know how fast. That's TJ. How fast?
Can I switch out? How much room in there is it for me to switch out the ESCs so I can put it on 8S?
The biggest concern with switching out your ESCs is that you're going to need some longer wires from the ESC to your motor.
No problem.
So the motors themselves have about a 8 to 10 inch wire that feeds from the nacelle down into the fuselage, and then right in the back aft bomb bay area where it would be, that is where your ESCs are located. It's definitely possible. Now, right now, currently the ESCs are, let me raise my hands. They're right next to each other. So you've got enough room on there to do that. More power to you if you do it.
Yeah, that's my only question.
Make a video.
Yeah, I like the modding of planes. You know, everything has great, good power. It's nothing like putting twin 80s in a Yeah. So
All right, so there you go. See, if you look at this, let's get it out of there. You don't need this little bag. So again, I haven't even opened these because the airplane's been doing amazing.
Wow.
So, all right, so that's what we got here going on. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
So we've got a metal retract, essentially.
all metal.
nice.
Is that like the worm wheel kind that that's on the aerofoam?
Oh, very similar. If you
Yeah.
look, let's see, you can see the worm-driven gear right there.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just like a retract, except for
Nice.
it's got, metal everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Which is
again,
nice.
we haven't had a problem with them. So far so good. 107 flights, trying to throw them through the ringer as much as we possibly can. I've flown it in 10 degrees and then 80 down in Florida. I mean, we've flown it in pretty much anything you can. I've taken it to St. George, Arizona Electric Fest, Florida, here. We've flown it everywhere we possibly can, to try and put it through the ringer. So up here where I'm at, I'm flying at 4,900 feet. And so power-wise, TJ, you want to know power, all right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to estimate that the airplane is a 105, 110 mile an hour airplane as is.
Okay.
Cool.
That is a 6S 5000 pack.
That's
Plenty.
not fast enough, Jeremy.
What's that?
That's not fast enough. TJ wants to go
Well,
faster.
That's a good start. That's a good start.
So
It's,
so
it's a very good baseline.
Okay, so I don't recommend this, but there's always going to be somebody that makes this thing ludicrous.
That's TJ.
Okay.
That's
Now, like
TJ.
I said, make it happen. If you do it, film it. We suggest you fly it as is. Okay, it's up to you what you do.
Yeah.
There's already people telling me that they're going to put turbines in it.
Really?
Go figure. Go do it. So there's enough room to get. I believe they're the K45s in there. Maybe
Whoa,
the Zyklers. So
That's actually not bad.
can I guarantee that? No, I can't guarantee any of that because it's
Probably
not
two
designed for that.
K30s would work.
Maybe 30s.
Yeah,
So,
some 30s.
so then that's the question. If K45s will fit in there, will 80 millimeters fit in there? Because there's enough room to sand it out, to groove it out the way you can get twin 80s in there.
You see, I haven't dug into it yet.
Okay.
Until you actually do it, you're never going to really know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I mean, because I've modified all kinds of airplanes, and I've found that I've been like at millimeters left on foam.
Yeah.
And that's not like when the Dremel tool's starting to melt the foam, and you can start seeing the heating going on the outside.
That's not good.
Okay, so you really don't know until you do.
Yeah.
So
Like the E-Flight F-16, I tried to put the 90 in that, and I couldn't do it. There's not enough room to work.
Wow.
Yeah, see, and I can't guarantee any of that. All I can guarantee is that the X-Fly 70 mil motors in there, it works pretty good and it flies very well. But there's always going to be somebody that's going to make it super powered.
You have another question. Can you explain the roll control, how the roll control is achieved when extended versus swept?
Yeah, absolutely. So where's that plane at? Where's that little Lancer at?
Oh,
Sorry, I'm going to have little man be my runner.
Hey, that's why you had them. That's why I had
All right,
them.
so essentially when the wings are out, your horizontal is solid, okay? They got one servo driven, so it's full on, solid, okay? With this Lancer, you've got an aileron control on both sides. The real one has spoilerons on the top to achieve that, okay? But they've done it to where they've got an aileron and they have a flap, okay, instead of being full span flaps like the real one. So with it in wings out, it's just like a conventional airplane. You have ailerons, just like it is. Now, with the wings back, there's some things that happen with the airplane. First of all, the airplane has a nose down attitude. Okay, your center of pressure changes from about right here in the airplane, and now it sucks back, creating lift in the tail end. With that, your horizontal now will increase nose up. Okay, this is all going to be naturally controlled within the control board, but your ailerons are still going to be ailerons. Okay, the only thing is that they are going to get more rate involved, because when they're back, you're going to need more rate to actually cause the rolls. So it's actually a very simple design. They kept it as simple as possible. But again, there's going to be people that are going to not use the control board and they're going to do their own thing.
Right.
Which I'm excited to see. It works, you know. But as of right now, they kept it simple. It's strictly ailerons work ailerons all the time. The horizontals are just horizontal elevator control, and you have rudder that works as rudder. They kept it very simple.
That makes sense. It seems like it'd be just after having the F-14 Tomcat, I can see the difference. Like when the wings were swept back on the free wing.
Mm-hmm. So the biggest difference in what you're seeing from the Tomcat versus the B1 is that horizontal stab being solid. With the Tomcat, you have the taileron effect, and that taileron effect intensifies your aileron control. And so the B1, with it having a single horizontal stab on there, you're going to need ailerons to be a little bit more intensified to get the rolls in there and whatnot. So I have a high rate, low rate, and a medium rate. When I go wings back, I go high rate, and the airplane flies fantastic. The biggest difference between the Tomcat and the B1 is the Tomcat had a tendency that when you got it upside down, it didn't like to stay upside down. It wanted to automatically kind of droop back down, almost like it had a lower CG weight, if that makes any sense.
Oh, wow.
For waterline.
Yeah.
The B1 will stay upside down. It has a little bit of that, but not as much. And I think that's because the airplane weighs a total of 11 pounds with the 6S 5000.
Oh, wow. So it's not a light plane, but for its size, it's actually really good size. That's not bad.
It's taller than me. I'm 6'4", and with the nose on the airplane on the ground, it's taller than me. So the biggest thing that a lot of people said when I was at Florida Jets was they could not believe the size of it.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at the airplane and it's out there on the taxiway or it's out there on the runway, it's deceiving. It seems like it's small. But then you get up to it and you're like, holy cow, this thing is actually pretty dang massive.
I vote we get a picture of Tom Tabor holding it.
Hey, you can't talk about Tom without him being here. That's funny.
Hey, he's missing out, man. That's his fault.
My question is with the
I will get you all a personal
I would love that
Tom Tabor picture, and I'll even have it signed.
That would be awesome.
My second question is I've spray painted one of my planes black. How does the black show up in the sky?
That's a good question.
On the Lancer?
Yes.
Or just the black plane in general?
No, on the Lancer. See, that's what you're flying. Because I've spray painted one of my planes black, and it's hard for me to.
But it's gray. The airplane's gray.
It's gray. Okay. It looks.
Yeah. It's like a flat dark gray.
Yeah. So it's actually a gunship gray is the color.
Okay.
So some of the photos and whatnot, it's just the season. I mean,
it looks black on some of the photos.
Yeah, that's just it is gray. So if you look right here, it's exactly this color.
Hey, I can't afford one of the RC models, so where can I get one of them?
One of these?
Yeah, man, that's cool.
They have them at our museum.
Here, I'll look for them online.
I don't know what My Little Doodle find. Actually, no, Amazon. I think you can get it on Amazon too. Just type
I'll
amazing
bring that
B1.
one to the field, and I'll fly with Bobby when he gets his.
I like them because I really got a thing for B1s. I mean, if you look up somewhere, I've got a B1. Daron, Daron is the company.
Since we're talking about B1s and cool planes, a B-52 would be awesome. Like the B1B opens doors for so many airplanes. You know what I mean? It just opens like C-130s or just so many.
The C-130's already been done by Avios.
See,
Avios, and I had the gray one, and I loved that thing. I mean, I put it through everything. I did all kinds of things. I mean, I enjoyed the heck out of it. I mean, I wish it was a little bit better in the quality respect.
It was just too small, I felt.
But it flew fun. I had a fun time with it.
That's it. Med's got a C-17. That would be wonderful.
A C-17 would be absolutely amazing.
That would be. C5. A C5 would be amazing. Like
they could do like the same, like the C-27, the E-Flight EC-1500. They could use that platform, but put EDS on it, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a project, Jerry.
Possibilities are endless. They're endless.
There's a lot of great ideas out there, everyone.
But
so I'm gonna dial it back to a doable great idea. How about a 90 millimeter F-35B?
F-35B. That would be actually pretty good, but man,
Oh man, you guys are music to my ears. I
I'm telling you.
love the ideas.
we love all those, and we would fly every single one of those once we
Oh,
just
yeah.
spout out.
Oh yeah.
Was somebody Craig
So
Bevins says
I've got
B-58.
a love for the A model though.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
That was one of the A models were what I actually worked on at
Wow.
Hill Air Force Base.
So let's segue into our next question. Jeff,
Yes, sir.
you're up.
What kind of flight times are we looking? I've seen videos, but realistically,
Okay, so again, obviously, the caveat is throttle management. Okay, so full on balls to the wall, whatever you want to call it, you're seeing about 3 minutes to 3.5 on a 6S 5000 65C pack. Okay, that is pretty on par for average for majority if you're going to be cranking it the whole time. We have had the airplane in the air at 6 minutes. That was a very, very lean, flight, very minimal throttle. We had an issue with an airplane where we were stuck up there a little longer than we wanted to. And so we were able to see about 6 minutes. So again, it's all based upon that. So if you do an average flight, so we'll go a happy medium between relaxed and regular. I mean,
4.5 minutes.
I would stick to 4 until you find out what your batteries do.
Because all batteries are not equal. That is for sure.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Honestly speaking, I would always start with a 3-minute flight.
Yeah.
Period. On every airplane, your very first time. 3 minutes, cut it.
Yep.
And then check your batteries based upon your battery's actual performance.
Yeah.
And increase and decrease depending on that. So the batteries I'm using, okay, I'm using currently, I'm finding that I love the China Hobby Line 65C black packs.
Dude, that's what I've been buying. They're amazing.
You really cannot beat the price on there. There are other batteries. Yes, you're going to pay a ton of money for them. I'm an economy guy. All right. I'm going to get the best of both worlds is what I'm going to try and do. So that's what I use. Okay. So go buy all the batteries out so we can't all get them, but they're good batteries. Right. Yeah. They're good batteries. All right. So I use those in every respect. Okay. But we have tried 4,000 packs. We've tried 5,000 packs. We've tried 6,500 packs in this. The real sweet spot we've been finding is the 6S 5000s. It makes it to where the plane's not too heavy, but you're going to get a very, very decent flight time. So, I mean, nice. Stick what you can in there, guys, and see how you like it. But that's what I think.
Man. Well, that's Jeff, you got any other questions?
No, man, I'm conservative. I'm not going to take up all this time.
Well,
I'll stick with one question. TJ, I mean, sorry.
Oh, TJ, he's over there.
He just wants one. He's trying.
That's it. I'm about to ask the third question over here. You talking about one question? you got the man who put 100 flights on it. You only gonna ask one question.
If you have a question about the B1B, this is why he's here.
I mean, what do we got? We got anybody asking questions out there?
Yeah, you guys in the comments, jump in there and ask some questions.
Let's see how much room in the battery bay. The battery bay is ginormous. I mean, you could fit 8,000 packs in there. I mean, they're huge. But again, you got to realize this is a long airplane.
Yeah.
And you put a ton of weight up here, you're going to have to figure out how to shift that as far back as you can to keep that CG. Otherwise, that plane is going to be a hot and heavy lander. So find out where you want to be. CG is about right where the nacelles start to go into the intake on there.
Those nacelles would look perfect for a C-17. You know that, right?
Yeah. They would. They absolutely would.
What are the what's the amperage on the ESCs that are in there?
They are 80s.
80
amperage. And a little note, okay, they have thrust reversing on these ESCs too.
Sweet.
Now, how efficient is thrust reversing? Okay, there's a lot of airplanes that are very, very good for thrust reversing. You can taxi backward. You can do all that. I would say that the thrust reversing is there to dissipate some of the air and help you slow down a little bit. It's not designed to prevent you from going crazy off. It'll help a little bit, but it has reversing. I don't think it was really designed for reversing.
Yeah,
but it has it. So
Is the gear all metal?
it is.
All right. Oh, we're getting a bunch of questions now.
Yep.
Mad Scientist G says, can a bomb bay compartment be added through modification?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
I mean, anything's possible, right? Like anything's
I don't think that you're going to get the depth that you want
right
in the bomb bays that you want to put in there.
How much
Now,
load can you carry in that thing, I guess?
It's already 11 pounds. I mean, like I said, we flew it at 6,500 packs. I mean, that adds
What, 1.5 pounds right there?
that's a pretty good amount of weight there. So the idea that we would have is if we got somebody that's really good at 3D designing, I would design the bomb bay to look like it's the bomb bay, but only be maybe an inch deep. And then you would have, just a little bit of a bomb bay inside there to drop stuff down. But I don't think you're going to get the real bomb bay. So the real bomb bay on this is actually a big dome. Like if you look at like a railroad track going through a mountain, it has that, kind of shape in there.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get that big arch effect inside the airplane. I really don't think you're going to. There's a lot of things on there, but Justin is looking at some ideas on that. So we'll see if
You see what Ken said?
goes that way.
Ken said, Jeff, man, you should reverse only one motor and make that sucker do the ultimate flat spin. I don't think it works like that. It might. I don't know.
That's how Goose died. So I don't know if we want to play that.
How Goose died. He didn't learn. Yeah, we learned from Goose's sacrifice. Mountain RC says, "Have you put afterburners on it yet?"
I have.
Mountain RC, he's got video footage of it, and it's amazing. They look great.
So we've got currently, here's a plug for the RC Geek. Okay, so we have the RC Geek burners inside there right now.
Nice.
They are a quad setup. Every single burner on there independently does its own thing, just like the real Lancer does. So I used to repair the throttle quadrants on those. And so even though they may be 100% exact as they're pushing on there, the motors will independently adjust and get to burner at slightly different times. And so you may see 1 and 4 and then 2 and then 3, you know what I mean? All hitting that. And so what I like about the RC Geek burners is they've got this randomizing that does that. And it's pretty neat. So once it's all full on and they're going, they're good. And you kind of see them flicker just a little bit randomly. And that's what I really enjoy about the design from the RC Geek. His control boards are on.
He's going to sell out tonight.
Yep, just because you said that. They're all gone.
He's already got them made. It takes a little bit to put them through there. So, like TJ was saying about ESCs, you've got to route them through the nacelle. You got a tunnel that goes into the ESC bay. Then you got to drop it down into the spine that goes underneath the retracts, and then eventually gets up into the control board bay. It's easy to do. One of the things that's really, really neat, like about Motion RC, is they give you that little rod to push things through.
I love that. I got like 20 of them around here.
Absolutely a fantastic idea. Great thing. And I have probably 10 of those things.
I love them.
And they are the lifesavers of lifesavers.
Right? Yes.
And I had to use one of those. Piano wire, eventually the same thing. Another little trick that I've done, but not with this airplane is do you know the little ball wires that used to be like for dog tags?
Oh, yeah.
So you can tilt airplanes and you can just drop it down there and they automatically feed down.
That's true.
And it works so good.
That's actually a good idea.
Just a little trick.
Hey,
that's something, but I didn't use it.
There's enough hanging from ceiling fans. We can make some work.
Yeah, just take them off the ceiling fans. I don't know how.
I've got like 8 feet of that stuff.
How hard is it to program the reverse thrust?
Okay, so there should be a manual when it comes through that talks about this. And essentially you're going to do like, how you do your throttle cows and you bring it down and beep it. So one of the beeps within there, you're going to take it back up or drop it down.
Yeah.
And then that turns it on. One of the things that we had told XFly is that will need to be programmed automatically at the beginning of when they get them. So ours, we had to do it, but they should come with it automatically ready to go. And so the only thing that you got to do is there's going to be 2 wires, one on each ESC that are up in the control board area that are a yellow wire, single pin, and those need to get a Y cable, pop them into your signal, and then put that into a channel that you want.
Yeah.
And then that's it. It should be that easy. Okay.
Oh.
Again, we're validating this when we get the final product to do that, but they should come with it automatically ready to go.
Somebody asked, what will be the price of the B1B plug and play bond and fly?
It is currently $699. We've already sold out on the first shipment, which is a good number. I can't tell you, but a good number, really good number.
Yeah, I know the number. It's a magnificent number.
So the people that are, so if you still order now, you still qualify for the pre-order price. If you want to wait until everybody gets theirs and this and that, you're going to end up, it's going to go up $50. And so that, so Carrie from Banana Hobby has actually been given the opportunity to give you guys a little bit better deal for having to pre-order. And so we just wanted to make sure we could get the right numbers to get everybody what they want on the first go.
We talked about that on the channel too. We just kind of polled and said, what would everybody pay for something like a B1B? And I took those numerics and shot them back to her. And I guess she conversed with her team. And
we talked about it a really long time. And again, the goal was not to break the bank of everybody. Yeah. However, the money that you guys put into the airplanes that you buy today, that is what helps develop the planes in the future.
It's true.
So it is kind of a little bit of heartache, but it is quite expensive to design planes, because what if that plane doesn't fly good?
And also, just if you can,
I've had one of those before that doesn't fly good.
Oh yeah, we've had many of those airplanes.
You know what I mean. And just because a company makes an airplane doesn't necessarily mean it's even going to make it.
Right.
You know what I mean. And that's money spent.
And what how many channels is this airplane?
It's 7 to 8, depending on what you're doing. It's 8 if you do the thrust reversing.
Okay. I myself will not be doing thrust reversing.
Here's a kick though. For those that like to use AS3X type receivers, we have not been finding good information with those running for some reason. I don't know why. I'm using a Spectrum receiver that does not have the AS3X in there, and it's working perfect. The controller will have a gyro automatically in it, so you don't need the AS3X. So just make sure you guys know you don't need the AS3X turned on. And if you do turn it on, you're going to have conflict in gyro. And so that's the last thing you want, is 2 things trying to do the same thing. It doesn't work well. Like when my wife tells me how to drive and I'm driving, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, you're like, I've been driving for X amount of years. I don't need your help. I do. Yeah. Yeah, so, that's a battle I'm not willing.
Just an idea, you know what I mean? So we've been finding some funny things with that, and just like other planes,
TJ likes that AS3X safe,
You like safe going Mach?
Not safe.
Jeff said you need safe, TJ. He says you're like one of those guys that use safe.
No, this airplane is very, very docile. Kidding. I mean, you wouldn't think that it's that simple to fly.
Yeah.
Man, with the wings out, that airplane is very simple. I mean, it really is very simple to fly.
That's how I feel.
With the wings back, you think it's scary, and it really isn't. I mean, little dude, what do you think?
I was going to ask him, because how kids are normally 100%. They don't filter anything. So what's your take on it there, Kyler? What do you think, man?
Super smooth. Just way too smooth. You think it's going to be everywhere, but then you get in the air and it's just super relaxed. You don't have to really push it around.
So we had him fly it
in
the crosswinds that we were having down there in Florida. They were probably 15 mile an hour. And the video's unedited on Facebook and YouTube, so you can see how it handles. I mean,
Just cutting right through the wind.
it does very well. You know, I mean, you got to control your sticks, you know, but on landings, you just need to be easy on your thumbs, and the airplane settles and it comes in, you know, and never give back. I don't know if you guys know this little model, never give back. Never give back. It's in relation to your elevator. You know, you come in on your landings and you pull back on your elevator. Do not give any elevator back to nose down until you're all the way on the ground and your rolling almost stopped. And the reason why is a lot of people let go and they get the bounce.
Boink, boink. Yeah, it makes
now
sense.
You put nose weight back on the struts and it's a spring, so you're going to get bounce and that, but never give back. Keep your elevator back at whatever you're at. Whatever you got onto the ground with, keep it at that, and you will solve so many landing problems.
Jeff, it's like the AL3037. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you land it, you're absolutely right, Jeremy. You can't give anything back because it will bounce. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Use your throttle to bring you down. You don't need the elevator to stop you. You should.
So, Kyler, have you landed it yourself and everything like that?
Yes, I have.
He's got about 8 flights on it now. More
man.
than that. So if you've seen some of my latest videos or whatnot, where I think it was the latest chase video, little dude was actually flying that, and I was chasing him. And so he's been wing sweeping it. He's been doing passes. He's been doing rolls with it. That was one of the first things he's up there doing. He's like, Dad, he's like, I don't want to fly the B1. I'm like, why? He's like, I want a sport plane. I want to do this.
Wow. He's like, it's boring.
He gets up there and he's rolling it around and doing whatever. And then I'm like, you feel better? And he's like, yeah.
Kyler, Mountain RC says, can Kyler fly it better than his dad? He said, be honest. Can you fly it better than your dad? I mean, you know.
Do I got to pay you?
There you go, right there. So that's one of your videos.
Yeah, this is him.
And that's you flying it right there. Let's get that out the way. There we go.
Sweet.
Look at that. It's very stable.
That's awesome.
Doesn't that look
awesome
just?
Shot
It just looks elegant. I mean, that's the thing. There's just something about that airplane.
I'm really stoked about it, to be honest with you. Like, and I try not, like, I watched a bunch of the videos and I had to wane myself off. I'm like, okay, let me just stop. That way, when it gets here, it's just going to be like a brand new objective. And look, I see the afterburners on there. It's amazing. So,
what are you flying to chase them with?
I'm using the DJI FPV.
FPV, yeah, you can tell
Okay.
the video footage.
All right, TJ, got to step your game up.
Hey, I was chase planing TJ. What was it? What was I out there Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty good. But you got these
I like
EDF
the
jets are so
dramatic
fast.
music.
You got to slow down.
Yeah, you got to slow down. You guys want to go full throttle and want me to keep up.
Hey, look at the birds. They're like, oh my god, that's awesome.
Okay, so a little bit about the birds. All right. So we're chasing the airplane and paying attention to what we're doing.
Hey Jeff, can you mute that so we don't get a YouTube strike?
There ain't no music. I mean, there ain't no talking.
No, but it's still music. It's a copyright thing.
And essentially what happened is those birds came out of nowhere, and we had no idea until I looked at the footage from the drone.
And you think you were surprised? I bet those birds are surprised. I bet they're like, "What the heck was that?"
Well, we call them the invasion of the Canadians.
That's funny. Look at those mountains, man. That's beautiful. And the cows. Are those buffalo?
Those are cows.
Wow, man, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But essentially, the airplane is very, very, very easy to fly.
Honey, we're moving to Utah.
Move away. Come on. We'll hang out.
Man, look at those. Look in the simulated lights, man. They're awesome.
Come here and look at this.
You're right, Bobby. I got to step my game up, man. This is
You got
Yeah.
You got to step your
But
game up.
listen, they're out there where it's all flat, it's wide open.
You're gonna have to work harder, TJ. You're just gonna have to work harder. You got to become better quicker.
Yep.
But like I said, we got some good opportunities to fly out there. Most of this footage, I think, was only done with maybe 3 flights.
Wow. Jerry Lewis says, so will it have a thing like safe?
It will not.
Yeah.
Safe is a thing that that Horizon Hobby does.
Yeah, and
But, but I think that you have the ability to bypass control boards if you ever decide to do that stuff and run your own gyros and do all that stuff. So I mean, there's a lot of things on there. On the control board, you're able to turn off the gyro, so you should be able to put whatever gyro in there. I'm just not going to say this works because I don't run safe products. I've
I don't either.
I try not to use AS3X. If a plane comes with it, it'll be in there, but I don't try to add it.
Yeah, we don't use it. I don't even use Expo. So I just kind of grew up with that stuff, not using that. I do like the AS3X in some planes. It makes it's not bad, but safe.
I mean, like I said, if it comes with it in there, then we'll use it because it's already pre-programmed and ready to rock. But I don't add it. If we're gonna say that we like gyros, right? The gyro that I'm gonna put a little plug in, I really enjoy using the Hobby Eagle A3L.
Oh, they're for the price you can't beat them.
The L, that's fantastic. It's a simple, easy setup, and it works great. So,
by the way, Jeremy, what do you think of the awesome, slow, Ultra Stick 1.2 meter?
Wait. Hold on. Let me pause the screen because I want to go straight to Jeremy.
All right, there we go. What do you think about that? What do you think about this right here, sir? This right here.
$199. Here's my simple opinion on it. Well,
$199.
I probably won't own it. Is there a market for it? There's always a market for it.
Yeah, there is.
There's a lot of people that like the back history on those because I remember, man, I
used to see them in the magazines.
Two or three of those at some of our old club events, and I never put them together.
Yeah, it's just it's an afterthought. But check this out.
I think that I don't know. I think they could have used the designing and other things.
Yeah, I agree. And for $200, I mean, I'm looking at it. I thought this was plastic, but it's aluminum, so that's cool. But it's all together. You don't have to screw anything.
Jason says it's the best-selling plane of the year.
It probably is, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's true though.
Well,
because they said the Ultrix, the Utrix.
There's a lot of people that there's variety. I mean, what do I think? I think
something for everybody.
Any airplane that comes out from any company is going to do well because there's always going to be somebody that is looking for something like that. So can I discredit it? No, it is what it is. I don't want to discredit it. It's one of those things. Somebody's going to really love it.
I had somebody say that they made
that's a John Dupree airplane, Bobby.
A lot of people said they made this because some of the older guys, the older flyers, it brings back a lot of good memories for them. Like this was a lot of their first airplanes and such.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It meets a check mark in the hobby.
Yeah, it's definitely.
You know what I mean? Like to me, I mean, you get these, you get a whole bunch of really old airplanes like, what is it? The Ugly Stick, right?
Yeah.
The Ugly Stick. How many Ugly Sticks have been out there? I mean, you always see an Ugly Stick.
Yeah. It's just,
is that a plane for me? No, I don't think I'll ever own one, but it is a good airplane for a lot of people. It's what they like, it brings
Speaking of good airplane, I need one of them T7As back there, man. Just go ahead and ship me that one because you don't need it.
Well, we have two of them right now.
Just send me one.
So, what I think that it's one of the funnest planes. It's definitely stepping up the options for X-Fly and all that. They did a good job on it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk about the looks. It's one of those airplanes that's so new, people don't realize that it's actually a real airplane.
Yeah, and that's what we tell people at the field. It's we're talking about the T7A. That's the trainer. So
there's a lot of airplanes that are
F-18,
kind of getting mashed together, and you get them into sport planes, and you get a lot of things like that. And I think a lot of people think they're like, whoa, that's just kind of a mix together, and it's just called the T-78. No, that is the new United States Air Force trainer jet.
Training our boys for the F-18,
The 18, the 16, the F-35s. It's going to be all about there, and it's kind of funny that it has weapons on it. All right.
It is.
However,
but they train with those weapons on there.
If you read into it, the airplane is supposed to be designed to be able to be a war-fighting airplane if ever needed to get into that role. So that's a new motto of the Air Force is, look, yes, it may be a trainer, but it's supposed to end up becoming, if it ever came to it, as a multi-role fighter, if it came to it.
It's a great plane.
So I think it's a great idea, and you can see that Boeing they use a lot of stuff that was already out there, so they're saving design time. It's F-16 landing gear, plain and simple. That's what it looks like.
It really is. Yeah.
It's an F-16 and an F-18 made a baby, and there it is.
That's it. Yep, Jeff, you said that from the beginning, and I mean it's it all day long.
But the characteristics of that plane, I mean, I have not found a really bad characteristic on that airplane. You really.
I haven't either. I stalled it though on landing. It slowed down quicker than what I was ready for. And it flies extremely well, and it's a over 100-mile-an-hour airplane as well. So,
well, I guarantee there's going to be people souping them up.
Oh yeah, I already know.
And the thing's going to be ludicrous.
Yep.
I want to see what I want to see is I want to see a big turbine version of that.
That would be awesome.
If I have my way, I think that would be a pretty cool thing. That airplane, single exhaust, so it should just rip.
And while we're talking about airplanes, we just talked about this little stick that I'm kind of assembling, but not really. I'm more just looking at the parts.
Before you switch gears,
go ahead.
The stick. What would make that more appealing to some people?
What?
It's a new model, right?
Floats.
They should have made it a night version.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Day and fly at night.
Dude, that's where
it's got that little fuselage, the little stick, and you can put your own lights on there. But to already incorporate the lights into the wings and give you that option, I think that'd be a knockout of the park.
Jeff, you're absolutely right.
That's one thing that Horizon does really well on is the night planes. They got a really good controller for the lights, and it works out really well. We had a night radio, man. We were always flying that thing at night down the middle of our street, Yeah,
TJ. Yeah, he did have one, didn't he?
And then he sold it to Bobby, and then what happened from there? Who knows?
I sold it. I got rid of it.
Oh no, not you, Bobby.
Yep.
You didn't sell no airplane.
Look, I don't get comfortable with my airplanes until just recently, So, a lot of them, because there's so many of them coming out, and we got them coming in, going out. I just don't see a point in keeping them all. So, they got to find other homes and for people to fly them and all that other good stuff. So, and they also fund some of the new excursions that we have. So, by the way, that Eurofighter, Jeremy, is amazing.
Oh yeah,
the free wing Euro. Oh, it is. The 8S version is phenomenal. It's my new favorite plane, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job on that airplane. They really
I was super impressed. But
we had been asking for a new Eurofighter for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were talking about molds. We were always told, nope, there's not going to be one because the molds are not compatible with the type of foam. And lo and behold, a Eurofighter that is
right,
very good. And like I said, any airplane that comes out that any company does is just better for the hobby. Period. We need as many airplanes to be out there as possible to keep up with keeping stores open.
Yeah, you're right.
Keeping people out there in the fields and all that stuff.
I'm concerned.
The more that's out there, the more people are going to be out there. So
I'm really concerned. I'm concerned about the push for the cars right now. I see the cars are they're pretty popular, and I feel and I've seen where some of the hobby shops are stocking more of the cars, more of the what are those little like not Bionicles? What are those little action figure kind of deals going on?
Gundams.
And Gundams, yeah, and less airplanes. And I'm like, man, you know, I don't. But I know they have to pay the bills and keep the lights on. But still, you know, you have to do what you got to do. I get it, but yeah. So moving right along, and look, Jeremy, I don't want to hold you guys up. You're more than welcome to stay here. I don't know what time it is there, but it's 9:47 here.
It's early there.
It is 7:48.
Oh, it's not even his bedtime. Oh, let's keep rolling then.
Whoa, what do you mean?
Good.
It's always my bedtime.
Oh, is it? I was getting there. I was like, I go to bed at like 12 o'clock. So
I go to work. Well, I get up for work every day, every weekday at 3:45.
Are you serious?
Wow. That's what working for the Department of Defense does.
Well, oh, by the way, congratulations on your achievement that you got. By the way, I saw that.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
that's
20 years in federal service. So
I work for the state, and those are like dog years. It doesn't come easy. So I know exactly what you're talking about. So yeah,
thank you. Appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you and your service. So let's talk about. We got TJ here. We brought TJ on to talk about. He likes to upgrade everything. Jeremy, do you like to upgrade your jets and make them ballistic? You seem like the type. Tyler, does he? He says no. He's like, nah.
I have updated a few.
Okay.
And I found where the limits are of them.
Oh, that means wings have filled up.
Please do share. Yeah.
Me and Jeff have done that. Actually, I did that.
So again, this is out of normal operating. I upgraded my Raptor, my 8S Raptor, to another 8S system.
I support that.
I got it from eFlux RC. I think I went to a 1500 kV motor, and then I kept the same free wing fan.
Huh.
Out of many people saying don't do that, but I did. And I was able to get my Raptor to GPS at 165.
Oh, wow.
And I ended up finding out that the horizontals, beings that when you pull up on elevator, they go up and then they drag, right? So now you're getting too much stress being pushed out on the outer edges. And eventually one of mine decided that it wanted to pull all the way down. It then climbed all the way up, and then it almost crashed into a tent with people in it at Joe Knoll.
Oh, wow. That's pretty that'll wake people up.
So my caveat to that is every airplane is designed to meet a certain amount of stress. Most companies will put it out there at that limit and give just a little buffer. So when you do these soup ups and all that stuff, there's absolutely a higher risk for planes to have problems. And is it fun to find these limits sometimes? Yes, it is.
It is. You know? The journey. It's not how you get there. It's
but I have found limits, and knowing what I know about certain things within the hobby, I don't recommend souping anymore. But
yeah, it is
what it is.
To a certain degree, I would agree with you. Turnward's over here talking about.
I mean, there's a lot of planes that are probably designed for a lot faster, but you got to realize, I mean, majority of these RC airplanes that we're souping up, you've got a servo that is $20.
Yeah, yeah.
And you've got multiple on there.
Yeah.
And then it's foam at that, and how much structure do they put within?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
funny you're talking about structure because I held this up to the light.
I don't know.
And there's no carbon going through there at all.
Well, if that thing goes Mach, I think everyone's going to buy one.
If it goes 50, I think I would be surprised, to be honest with you.
We should put the mall motor on it and see what it does.
Oh my gosh, we could.
V900, V900.
Yeah, I got a
motor.
V900
Oh.
motor we can throw in there.
That would be ridiculous.
See if you can get that thing to become a rocket.
Flap. It would flap. By the way, Turmoil was talking about me and TJ were flying this what was it, this weekend,
Sunday,
and
yeah.
we were flying so nice. We had both of our airplanes flying around the field really close, like, and smooth. Until TJ, I'm gonna blame you, TJ. TJ's wing touched my airplane's wing like this, and mine went straight down and to the ground into a ton of foam pieces and destroyed his and mine. It was awesome, to be honest with you.
So one of the things that my buddy Justin and I were known for is we always try to fly together.
Yeah.
Like if you look at all of our videos in the start of when we started trying to just make media for fun, it was all of us trying to fly together. And we've had very, very, very few incidents of touching, but we've had some very fun ones.
Yeah.
You know, I had a custom F4 Phantom that I did in a Thunderbird scheme, and he had his Raptor, and we're coming down from the heavens nice and fun, and all of a sudden, for some reason, the bellies decided to get together. And they were stuck, sandwiched together. They were like hitting, and then they were stuck, and we were pulling, trying to get them to separate, and eventually they separated, and we both landed, but it had flew for 100 yards stuck together.
I mean, and those are the things that it's like, I wish somebody was recording that.
I know. That's the thing, is nobody was recording it.
And that's what happened with me and TJ. Nobody was recording, and it would have been spectacular. It would have been amazing. Matter of fact,
we would have saw that it was Bobby's fault and not my fault.
It was not. I was
flying. Listen, there was
TJ,
a crosswind going
Jeff.
From west to east.
Jeff.
I was on the east side. He was on the west side.
Jeff.
His plane ran into my plane.
You know what? We'll let that one simmer there. But look, I'm gonna let you guys take a look at the video aftermath of that crash, and it was pretty substantial, man. I mean, it is what it is. Let's see here. I just want to make sure I got everything right, and boom, there we go. So here you go. Well, me and TJ just had a midair. That's the Avanti. Yeah, man. That's the parts right there. It nosedive in after the wing got hit. And then that's TJ's bird. Trying to figure out what happened. And that's where his nose got hit. And that's the hole in the ground from his nose. Man, these are both fatal, man. There's Pilot Will right there. Yeah, it nosedived straight in. Nasty.
Hey, did it make a bigger divot than the little 50 millimeter Bayhawk?
It did. Oh, yeah. That Bayhawk was nothing compared to that. And so, yeah, you can see how bad that was. I mean, my wings were good. That was about the only thing. So, as soon as that happened, I went and bought another Avanti. So, it's in that box right there. It's ready to go. It just flies so good. So, the cool thing about it is me and TJ weren't even upset. We were like, that was cool. Yeah. That was probably the coolest crash we've ever done. I was like, 16 years of flying, never have had a midair in my life.
No, you're not doing it right. You're not flying close enough.
Apparently not. I learned and look, I will never fly that close again.
We were lockstep. We weren't even going fast. We were at like half throttle, lockstep with each other, same altitude, same speed, and we were just in sync.
Yeah, it was. Hey, Ken Sprout says, "Oh, come on, man, that was fixable." That was not fixable. It was.
Hey, whoa! You've seen what I can do with
Jeff.
TJ,
listen.
I literally had 80 pieces. Fragments of foam.
Let me explain to him, Bobby. Jeff,
do you remember the EC 1500?
Listen,
no,
Jeff,
this was worse.
On his Avanti, his 80 millimeter motor ended up in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Listen, the motor was in the cockpit when he picked it up. That was not fixable.
Yeah.
Half the plane nose the nose and the front half of the plane was in the ground underneath the earth. We dug it out
like 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah, it wasn't fixable.
That's doing it right.
Yeah, that's what I felt, and I was still angry that it was not. Nobody was filming, and I was like, "Dag on it!" I was like, "Will could have got that. We could have got it, but it's all good. I'm sure it'll happen again. Me and Jeff will just have to do it. We'll have to do it better, I guess." Paulo Will says, "I'm glad my Stinger motor burned out before I got in." Yeah, that's true. Like what we've learned while we're out there at the airfield, they're using them SMC packs. and those SMC packs are burning these motors out. They're cooking them.
I love it.
So, but we also found out, TJ, you want to talk about how to upgrade to 8S? What some of the steps are while we're segueing?
Definitely, we'll run into it. So you know,
We've got a couple more minutes left, and
power.
we're gonna get out of here.
All right. So the 8S setup, whether you go with a free wing, a Hobby King ESC, or a Castle, what I like to use are the Castles. You get you whether it's a 75 light or a 130 light, and you get to mod, man. You got to extend those leads so they can reach the cockpit. And once you get it in there, then it's all about programming. And this is what I had to learn. I thought if you put the ESC in there, you put 2 4S batteries and fly them in series, or is it parallel? One or the other. You fly them that way, you're on 8S, the plane is going to go faster. That is not true. You have to get into programming it. And this is what I learned the hard way, because I'm looking at my plane thinking, it's on 8S. Why am I not like going faster than everybody? Why isn't it blazing fast? Until Bobby set me down one day and he said, I programmed this plane. I think that's when you got the big one, the big
I changed
L39. Yep. And so when we got back into the EDF and programmed, changed the timing on it, man, that made a world of a difference.
Yeah.
Now I'm not recommending that you turn the timing all the way up, although I like turning it all the way up, because if it's not burning, I'm not flying. Like I want to burn something up. I'm all about demolition. I'm trying to destroy it, you know. So
I'm trying to go as fast as possible before the magnets and the motors just bust.
Yes, and then I just buy another motor. But I recommend once you get into the timing, turn it up to maybe 15, 16. And then if you want more performance out of your plane, this is without even changing anything. Pilot Will just taught me this, and I'm going to have to swing by his house to see how all this works. You get a EDF balancer to balance that motor properly. And when you balance that fan, man, he has a Raptor that's on 6S that's going faster than my Raptor on 8S.
And how fast did we see? We actually GPS'd it.
165.
It was literally going 165 miles an hour.
Crazy.
Yep.
And it was quiet.
That's where my limit was.
And now that you say that, I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to go faster than 165. Yeah. But it's amazing that these pieces of foam are going that fast.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I can't wait. Bobby hasn't put it out yet, but there's a video of the Raptor and the Blue Angels F-18 on 8S, the Raptors on 6S, and we're trying to see who's gonna come by the fastest. Now the F-18 sounds phenomenal. It's throttle heavy. I mean, the motor sounds nice and throaty, and it's coming by. It's cooking. The Raptor, man, it's just so sleek. It comes by zipping, but it's quiet. And it's deceptive.
It's very.
It's like the video we did with the J6 or the PJ50 and AL37. You can hear the difference in my fans versus O fans, and they're both, 70 millimeter twins.
Because everybody was saying your fans sound out of balance, but they didn't sound out of balance. They sound perfectly fine to me.
They've sounded that way since I first got it. It's just that PJ50 is quiet.
It could have been out of balance since you first had it, man. You got to put them things on the balancer.
So, unlike Mr. Will, I don't know how to balance.
That's why I'm going to learn. Hey, listen, it's what it's all about.
And look, Guniac has put out
my EDF for me.
Guniac has put out multiple videos on how to balance those EDF fans.
Yeah.
And it's very easy. And Jeremy, I'm quite sure you know how to do it too. It's really not difficult.
It's very similar to like a propeller prop, but you got more to deal with, essentially.
Guniac's in here. He says, and yes, out of balance.
Shut up, Guniac.
Hey, Guniac came in here right on time. So, but TJ, I appreciate you explaining the whole 8S setup upgrade and getting more performance out of it. I've got an 8S setup now. It's 90 mils, so it's going to have to go in one of my 90 mils. So we're going to figure that one out. But, certainly appreciate that information. And we're looking at an hour and a half. We normally only run for an hour, but Jeremy, we had you, and we wanted to ask you a ton of questions and give the people in the channel a chance to talk to you and listen to what you're saying. A lot of people will talk, but we also have a lot of people that hang out in the back of the room and they're just listening. So,
well, do we have any other questions? I mean, you got me.
yeah. And by the way, have you guys checked this out? It's the brand new UMX Turbo Timber Evolution 2S to 3S. Jeff told me about that this morning and I saw it and I was like, huh. So Jeff, what do you think about that?
I think it's cool that they've got it ready to run 3S. The 2S was fun, but I think the 3S is going to be more fun. Now, I've got a big front yard, big backyard. That's something I could fly here at the house.
And a big head.
And I got a huge head, big hands, and all the stuff.
You do got big hands. I'm not gonna lie.
I like the fact that I can fly this at home. I mean, it is what it is. It's a 30-minute ride to the field, and I know I'm complaining.
You're complaining about nothing, dude.
I'm definitely gonna. I'm more than likely gonna get one, man.
Yeah, I would agree. I was looking at it, and to be honest with you, when I saw it this morning, I was half like alive. And I looked at it and I was like, another UMX Turbo Timber. Why would anybody make this little tiny thing? And then I watched the video and I was like, that's actually pretty cool. And I was like, oh, it's 3S. I was like, that's pretty cool. That's going to have a ton of power. So,
well, the best part about that is now that it's got the floats, it actually has the power to be able to get off the water.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo. And look, now you can have
the
a
other
float
ones
plane.
the other ones were unable to get off the water.
Yeah.
Very rarely, but.
And now you got a float plane for under $180, So,
well, we use them for snow planes too. So
I did when it snowed here, the very few times it ever snows in North Carolina, but it snowed and I had a chance to take one off and I didn't have floats.
my absolute favorite plane to fly off the snow on with floats was the Carbon Z Cub with floats. That thing was awesome.
Man,
it was perfect for snow.
Huh? Yeah, the Carbon Z. Yeah, that's actually not a bad flyer too. By the way, guys, I have one for sale if anybody should ever want one. So I bought this.
Plug.
Yeah, that was a shameless plug. I ended up buying this.
It's classified.
So hey, Jeremy,
I'm proud of you. You got a turbine. Congratulations, man.
Yep, I finally pulled the trigger on one. And so here's the thing: I want to set it up, but I don't have a CO2 extinguisher or a halon, and I'm not even going to even turn the thing on. It's not worth it.
Yep, make sure you do that right.
Exactly. And so here's the surprising thing is that now that I have this, I'm like, holy crap, this is a different level of responsibility. But secondly, I need to find a place that I can actually buy a CO2 extinguisher from. And I thought it was going to be, like an ABC around, $30-$40. No, 170 to 200 plus and up.
Yep.
So I was like, wow.
So you can go to local fire extinguisher places. Yeah. There's not a lot of them that do it, but you should hopefully be able to find it.
I found one that charges.
We recycle through them.
I found one that does the recharging of one, and I found an actual extinguisher for $50, which is perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a 20-pound. It's 20 pounds. And I'm like, that's too big.
No, it's not actually.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
20 pounds. That's perfect. And the reason why is it's always better to have more. Than less.
See,
especially in a safety respect,
This is the things I need to hear because I was told, oh, you just need a 5 pound. I was like, that doesn't sound like a lot. Like
as a minimum.
I put cars out of fire with a fire extinguisher with 5 pounds, and it's not enough. It's just enough to get it like covered, and then it flames back up.
Yep.
So
then you got a lot of good shots to be able to do what you need to do if it needs to.
I appreciate that. No, that's good. I'm gonna pull the trigger on it then.
So while we on this topic, Jeremy, I'm in the market for a turbine, but my first one, I don't want to spend but so much. And since you have so many there, your son just told me you had 11. I mean, come on. What do you recommend you can get rid of at a decent price?
Oh, don't do that, TJ. Don't do that. Jeff, you hear this guy?
See, Jeff, I'm wondering why they send the big turbo timber with floats automatically, but the UMX, you got to buy them separately.
doesn't fit in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
on.
Yeah.
On top of that, I want y'all to notice how they keep creeping the price up. This used to be $139.
It did. Well,
Well,
but
they were
TJ,
like
it had-
119 when they first come out.
Oh yeah,
but TJ,
yeah.
it has smart technology in it. Come on, smart. It's
Yeah,
smart
but-
technology.
What? How is it smarter than the last one?
It's smarter because your radio can read the telemetry that you can't read. I don't have the answers. Jeremy, do you have the answers? Jeremy's like, I'm not going that way. I'm not jumping into that. He's like, I'm gonna leave that alone.
I'm just gonna watch.
Yeah. Don't get over here. don't do what we're doing right now.
I mean, I got full disclosure, right?
Yeah.
We've got what 12 UMX airplanes. I mean, we love them.
They're fun.
They're fun planes,
They're fun.
I mean, heck, we've got some good old stuff. Like, you guys remember the F-16 Thunderbird?
Yes.
Still got it.
I got two of them. I crashed one. I bought another. I need to get a third one. I want a newer body. I love.
Don't get me wrong. I
It's about the UMX,
sacrificed one and stuck it on the back of my
We're talking
case at
about the
135.
UMX.
I'm talking about the UMX I got from Banana Hobby when they went on sale for $39 for the ARF. I bought so many of them.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I bought that one. I bought the Raptor, and I bought the F-35. I should have gotten the F-18. That was a UMX too.
I don't think
I
I've
don't-
ever seen you
I
fly a
don't remember
UMX
any of
airplane.
those.
You don't remember those? They're 30 millimeter or 50 millimeter. No, they're 30s. 30 millimeter.
See, I only remember the F-16. There was a MiG the MiG-skeeto is what we called it because it's like a mosquito.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
The F-22. I had the
I don't remember a
F-22.
Raptor.
Yep, I had the F-22. And there's a Blue Angels F-18. I bought them all two Christmas.
Oh yes,
ago.
yes. The
Yes.
the backpack jet ones.
Oh yeah. Oh man, those
That's
things
what they
are
were
awesome.
called.
Those
Yeah.
things are awesome.
So
I took 2 of them to Korea with me.
that's funny. Actually, I
On
brought
a-
the little timber
on a
to
deployment.
thing and flew my. That's funny. Now that is funny. Hey, let me ask you a question. Jeremy.
Yeah.
Victor says do halon, not CO2. Now, I was told to do CO2 because I can just fire the airplane right up after I use it with no problems.
Halon and CO2 are going to have the same effect.
Yeah.
Halon displaces more oxygen. So when you displace the halon, you have to leave the area too. CO2, you really don't need to.
That's exact. I remember because we had a halon system at a place that I worked where it sucks all the oxygen out, and you'll die if you don't get out. So I was like, I don't want any parts of that.
So
want any parts of
aircraft maintenance in the Air Force, we had humongous halon bottles.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so that was all the stuff. It depletes more oxygen than CO2.
Yes.
So last thing I want is halon around me. So
Yeah, and that was the thing. That's what I was told. I was like, yeah, it's not good for the people. It's not good for, your lungs for sure. So I need air in order to fly these things.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the CO2, and it's also more affordable too. So, all right.
Well, and it may be easier. Again, this is speculating, but it may be easier to get the CO2 because people can just charge them.
That's right.
Locally, so
Okay.
there's a lot of people that charge CO2 for paintball. So I mean, it's common.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a good idea. I need to. Yeah. So I'm gonna get that tank, and I'm just gonna have somebody charge that up. I found a place that'll do a 5-pound for like $50. So I'm wondering if
We
that's
just
$50.
exchanged. It's like $70.
That's not bad. I'll have to do some more searching, but let me ask you this, and then we're gonna let you go. Jeff, do you have any other questions for him?
No, sir.
TJ, I know you have questions.
I always have questions. But go ahead.
Hit me up in Messenger.
Yep. Hit him up in
Any
Messenger.
questions you got?
All right.
But as far as this goes, we've been rolling hard for an hour and 40 minutes. I see Jeff getting sleepy over there. He's got to get up at 3 a.m.
He needs to start driving to Utah. Is what he needs to do.
Yeah, he's got to get those airplanes that we need from you there that you're not flying anymore. And I got to get up early as well. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you so much, you and Kyler, for coming onto the show and answering all the questions and hanging out. And hopefully this was a good time for you guys to do this. Get to chop it up with me, Jeff, and TJ. and drop a bunch of knowledge on everybody. Really appreciate you explaining the B1B and how it works, and the direction Banana Hobby's moving in. So I've been really impressed with what Banana Hobby has been doing, and how hands-on Carrie is with everything, and how you guys are handling some of these new jets coming through with the utmost respect and care. So yeah, definitely going to be good on that one. But just wanted to say thank you guys for hanging out with us. TJ, thank you for popping in and hanging out and doing your thing and explaining the 8S. Jeff, I'm just glad you're here. You were gone for 2 weeks. I was almost starting to have withdrawals, and everything. So I was getting ready to put a teddy bear with a big head and big hands there to take your place. But I didn't have anything like that. So I'm glad you're here. But other than that, I'm gonna go take some meds and I'm gonna conk off. We're gonna shut this thing down, but guys, don't leave just yet. And other than that, that's pretty much it. Guys, we certainly appreciate you come checking in on the channel. Don't forget to check us out every Thursday at 8:30. Don't forget to check out Stolt Productions website, his YouTube channel. Lots of good video there. Lots of high quality video there too, and lots of information. I've gone all the way back through his videos until like some of the first ones he was putting out. So it's cool to see the progression where you're at right now. So, but needless to say, we're really appreciative of you being here. So guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And as always,
thumbs up, hit that thumbs up.
Yeah, hit that thumbs up on the way out. Don't make me sad.